Welcome to our viewers in Nigeria and across the world. Lunchtime politics begins right now. Well, mixed reactions trail the emergence of former Kano State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje as the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress. While the party leadership appears upbeat, opposition PDP calls it a wrong choice. A ministerial screening continues today for the second batch of 19 nominees. Well, all eyes on the Senate yet again to see the quality of this all-important constitutional process. And it is not Uhuru just yet, as Labour issues another ultimatum to government, asking the Ministry of Justice to withdraw the contempt charges against Labour, else it will go on strike by mid-August. We'll begin with the big story of the day, and that takes us to the National Assembly, where the screening of ministerial nominees continues today at the Senate. Well, Fridays are not statutorily days for plenary, but the Senate is setting that aside to screen the second batch of 19 nominees sent to the upper chamber by President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday. Well, this follows the three-day screening of the initial 28 names sent just in time before the expiration of the 60-day window for the president to form his cabinet. Already, the Senate has released the order of proceedings for the day with the names of the nominees listed. But let's show you just an overview of these nominees, 19 of them in total. There you see, dominated by former governors, I should say. You can see former Governor Adigboyega Oyetola, former Governor Atiku Bagudu, former Governor Bello Matawalle Ibrahim Gaidam, as well as another woman on that list, Dr. Mariam Shetty, as well as a few others, which you will see in the course of the program. But these are the ministerial nominees that are expected to be screened. There you, of course, see former Governor, again, Simon Lalong of Plateau State, as well as others. So all eyes, of course, on the Senate for this screening. And, of course, last but not least, Zephaniah Bitrus Jesalo, also a nominee on that list. So stay with Channels Television as we'll bring you live updates from plenary, which we understand has begun already. But of course, they're still at the preamble stages. But we'll bring you the updates from that ministerial screening. Don't forget, it's an all-important constitutional process that has a major bearing on the direction of this government and the nation at large. But let's talk politics now, party politics, I should say. It is a day after the ruling All Progressives Congress APC got a new man at the helm as former Kano State Governor, Mr. Abdullahi Ganduje. Well, reactions have trailed his emergence as the party's National Executive Council also chose a former Senate spokesperson, Mr. Ajibola Basiru from Osun State, as its National Secretary. Well, the party ratified the appointments during its 12th NEC meeting in Abuja in the presence of President Bola Tinubu and his vice, Kashim Shettima.
As National Assembly members,
headquarters of the party.
This is the first National Executive Committee meeting of the party since President Bola Tinubu assumed office, and he uses the opportunity of the opening speech to deliver his verdict on the 2023 presidential election.
The party is in your hand. But let's redirect this party. Let's show the rest of the country that we are a party united for a purpose. And that purpose, development, progress, and prosperity, will not forgive us if we fear of that path. We honor their wishes, but we coasted to victory. It is an honorable thing. Yes, we are facing challenges in court, and I say this is one of the most free and fair elections in the history of Nigeria.
The meeting then proceeds into a closed-door session to ratify the appointments for the seat of the National Chairman and the National Secretary.
For the unanimous support by the members on the appointment, on the election of His Excellency Abdullahi Umar Ganduje as the National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, and Senator Basiru Ajibola as the National Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, APC.
Following the election, the appointees are sworn in.
I will devote myself to the service and well-being of the members of the party and the people of Nigeria. So help me God.
In his acceptance speech, Mr. Ganduje vows to enthrone internal democracy within the party.
Some important reforms will be carried out in the party, aligning with the current political landscape. This will include 1. Using the current technology, membership registration into our regular. 2. Whereby the current figure we have for the registration is over 41 people. But the result of the last election was only to 8%.
Some members of the party have some words of advice for the new national chairman.
Well, for being one of the former executive of party, I've enjoyed party administration before and I've suffered party administration before. My advice to them would be they should be calm, patient, and do justice and be fair to all. Political party administration is about giving everybody a sense of belonging and carrying people along.
Following the election of former Kano Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje as the new national chairman of the All Progressives Congress at this 12th NEC meeting, the chairman says his first responsibility is ensuring that the party wins all governorship elections upcoming in the next few months. Dele Omoyeni, Channels Television News.
Live to the Senate, where the screening of the 19 nominees that were sent by the president on Wednesday is expected to commence any moment from now. But we have also breaking news from the Senate, where we understand that President Tinubu has written to the upper chamber to replace the ministerial nominee Mariam Shetty, and he nominated Mr. Festus Keyamo. So let's listen in. That's the Senate president who is speaking right now.
Of all land borders with Niger Republic and reactivation of the border drill exercise. Cutting off electricity supply to Niger Republic. Mobilizing international support for the implementation of the provisions of the ECOWAS communique. Preventing the operation of commercial and special flights into and from Niger Republic, blockade of goods in transit to Niger Republic, especially from Lagos and the eastern seaports, embarking on the sensitization of Nigerians and Nigerians on the imperative of the actions by ECOWAS, particularly via the social media. Military build-up and deployment of personnel for military intervention to enforce compliance of the military junta, to enforce compliance by the military junta in Niger should they remain recalcitrant. Freezing assets of state enterprises and parastatals in commercial banks. In light of the foregoing, I wish to respectfully solicit the support of the National Assembly in the successful implementation of the ECOWAS resolution, as outlined in the attached communique. While looking forward to your usual cooperation kindly accept distinguished Senate President and distinguished senators the assurances of my highest consideration annexed him. This is signed by the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and Chairman of ECOWAS.
Thank you, Mr. President. In line with the message received today from the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, I wish, by your leave, Mr. President, to read clause 5 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as a guide. 5.5.
What section?
And by your leave, can I read? Just as a guide. Notwithstanding the provision of such section 4 of this section, the President, in consultation with the National Defense Council, may deploy members of the armed forces of the Federation on a limited combat duty outside Nigeria if he is satisfied that the national security is under imminent threat or danger, provided that the President shall, within 7 days of actual combat engagement, seek the consent of the Senate, and the Senate shall thereafter give or refuse the said consent within 14 days.
Well guided, sustained. Now the leader of the Senate.
There's a live images from the Senate where, well, the Senate is beginning with its usual proceedings before it gets into the screening of the ministerial nominees proper. So any moment from now, we expect that after the Senate is done with some of these issues on its lineup, then it will get into the nomination, or the screening rather, of the nominees proper. So stay with Channels Television as we bring you live updates from the Senate. Well, so let's get back on track, shall we? In a swift reaction, by the way, to the emergence of former Governor Abdullahi Ganduje as the chairman, the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, the opposition People's Democratic Party has criticized the choice of Mr. Ganduje, describing him as ethically challenged. But for Mr. Ganduje, as you may have heard earlier, he has promised to hit the ground running. So what exactly is playing out? The APC has a new national chairman. Well, the PDP obviously is not enthused. So let's get into this conversation. It's a major one because it concerns the major political party, the ruling APC, and now the PDP has sort of entered the fray. Mr. Felix Morka, the National Publicity Secretary of the APC, joins us live from our Abuja studio. And just right next to him is Honorable Debo Olugbagba, who's the National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Gentlemen, it's good to see you in the same room, I must say. I must say this is good for democracy, having constructive conversations that will move our democracy forward. Thank you for joining us on the program. And I'll begin from Mr. Olugbagba, because you released a statement yesterday just after the emergence of former Governor Ganduje as the chairman of the APC. Incidentally, he's a product of your party. He was groomed in your party, so to speak, and even served there in the PDP as well. So the question is, aren't you proud of your product?
Thank you very much for having me. And it's actually a pleasure to be with my brother here, my friend, and this is the first time we're sitting in the same room, and I think that's interesting. Like you said, your background to this is it's a healthy conversation, which I think is good for our country and for our democracy. We're proud of our products, but when we have a product that is corrupted, we will name that corrupted product. So if your reference is to Governor Ganduje, he's been corrupted by membership of the APC. And in that statement, we were very clear. We referenced the fact that he is ethically challenged, and now naming him to be the chairman and be the chief executive of the APC is actually in line and is in tune with the character and the behavior that we've come to know about the APC. We have described them severally as a special purpose vehicle. They have no policy, they have no vision, they have no mission. And the whole issue is about contradictory brave fellows coming together, want to seize power by virtue of lie, propaganda, subterfuge over the years. And the happening of the APC government in the last 8 years, plus now, is a reflection of that. And you recall, and it's not just what we say, it's what has been said by members of the APC. You recall the famous or the infamous statement by now Senator Oshomole, when he said, when you are in trouble in another party for issue of corruption or allegation of such, you come into APC, we'll take you in. You recall that the Director General of the Progressive Governors Forum, which is basically of the APC, said that it's comprised of cabals. And so those are the background to which you know what the character of the party is.
Okay, let's go. Let's get Mr. Moka's opening comments on this. Just a moment, Honorable Olugwangba, so we can have a robust conversation. Indeed, healthy debates are good for our democracy. So let's allow Mr. Moka speak on this, because I imagine from your party's perspective, former Governor Ganduje brings some leadership qualities, I imagine, some political qualities as well. So in addition to your response, what does he really bring to the table for your party?
Thank you very much, Kayode. And it's good to be here with my dear friend. Look, yesterday was a remarkable moment for our party. Demonstrated yet again that our party has come of age, and we showed maturity in the way and manner we have handled this recent transition of leadership in the party. We had our national chairman resign, our national secretary, and immediately you saw how quickly we triggered our constitutional provisions with the ascension to office by the then Deputy Chairman North, Senator Abukiari, and Barrister Festus Fontara, who took over immediately in acting capacities in both offices. And then yesterday at the NEC meeting, we formalized the election of former Governor of Kano, Dr. Ganduje, as the national chairman, and Senator Ajibola as the national secretary. And this was done within barely an hour and a half. It was done with extreme professionalism that is uncommon in politics. Now, my dear friend speaks about APC and speaks about Dr. Ganduje. Yes, Kayode, you were right in remarking that Dr. Ganduje, comes from the stock of the PDP in his former political life, now with us in our party, and now yesterday made chairman. I know, even though he hasn't said it, there is nothing that in his statement, the PDP statement, that gave any facts, any real basis on which to suggest that Governor Ganduje is tainted with any sort of corruption. Allegations are not statements of facts, and they are not, judicial pronouncements. And under our laws, the law is clear. You do not taint anyone with guilt who has not been, found guilty by a court of law. So I think that all of the speculations and innuendos and suggestions are just, I think they're actually statements of envy. The PDP is totally envious of the APC for the way and manner. In 10 years, we are setting the pace as to how party administration should be conducted. You can see even the last chairman, Professor Ayu, you can see the sham and the shame with which that whole thing was managed in a lot of mockiness. Even up to now, quite frankly, I don't know who the chairman of the PDP is.
Okay, let's naturally take this back to Honorable Olugwagba. He's raised some questions saying that, well, there are no facts to back up some of the points made in your statement, where you said that this was, that the former governor is ethically challenged. I think those were your words. Incidentally, both of you are legal practitioners, so you have that background. What are the facts to back up some of those statements you made?
It's not so much about what facts, it's what is in the public domain. Look, when you divest ethics and conduct and morals from public life, then as a nation they will have the challenge. And this is what is happening there. I just referenced a couple of comments by members, leaders of APC, saying practically that when you come into River APC, like I christened it, it's like River Jordan. When you have leprosy, you cross over River Jordan, then your leprosy will be cleansed. That is the challenge for every of the leaders of the APC today. Many, if not all of them, have issues of ethics, of corruption, of allegation against them. And if you begin to say, hide and say, oh, they've not been proved, it becomes a challenge, and that's why it's ethically challenged. One, if you recall, only last month, the Kano equivalent of the Economic and Financial Crime Commission confirmed that the infamous video where Governor Ganduje was allegedly on video, viral video, which was not denied, that body confirmed that that video was not doctored. In that video, you recall that it was found, said to have been putting in wads of US dollars into his Babariga. He never denied that. Yesterday, when I heard him, said he's going to hit the ground running for elections. I have advised that he should hit the ground running towards EFCC so that he can clear those allegations against him. They are in the public domain. A commission of inquiry was set up by the Kano state government. That body has confirmed that that video is not been doctored, so there can be no allegation of the issue of that it must have been manipulated. All right. Now, if such comes before you, as a man seeking to be in public office, particularly of a political party, which of course I've always said is not a political party, there are contradictions in between that group called APC. Right now, there's so much seemingly quiet. There is the piece of the graveyard. You have two blocks in there. I'm not a member of the APC, but of course we are observant of what's happening. The CPC seem to have been edged out. The ACN angles seem to be in control, and they're the drivers. But that's not good for the country. So the challenge is this. For anybody who wants to lead a political party or hold any public office, he must be such that he's above board ethically, morally, and legally. And that is the challenge.
Okay, gentlemen, Honorable Olugwagba, there's a matter of national importance currently ongoing at the Senate, as you may well be aware. Of course, members of your party are there as well as members of the APC. It's a national assignment, and it seems to be eating into our time, but we have to do this because it's something of national importance. So, gentlemen, if you could just respond in 30 seconds, Mr. Moka, as we wind down, so we can get your response and then head over to the National Assembly for the screening. Can we just have your final response, please?
Yes. Look, I think it is really baffling that a party that was uncontrollably profligate in the wastefulness of our national resources and that elevated corruption to state practice over 16 years would actually be making this sort of allegations. I think it's ridiculous. If the PDP is the party they think they are, 3 presidential elections now, they lost. The APC trusts them severely. You know, Nigerians are the Senate. They know what's going on. So no PDP statements will, befogle Nigerians in terms of what they know to be the decadence, the incurable decadence that, is of the PDP.
Well, gentlemen, we'd like to thank you so much. We just hope this is the start of this healthy conversation and we can have this from time to time. I mean, look at us. We just had a conversation and we didn't throw blows or
absolutely
any expletives. I'd like to thank you so much.
I must thank you for the opportunity, but I can tell you this.
Right.
I'm sure my brother Moka is living in an alternative world.
All right. Well, we have to pause now. We hope to do this some other time. But again, I have to thank you so much, Honorable Debo Ologwangba, the PDP spokesperson, as well as Mr. Felix Moka of the APC. Both of them lawyers. Thank you for your time, and we wish you the very best. Well, that's so much we can take on the program today. But not to worry, we're heading over to the Senate now, where the screening of the ministerial nominees is ongoing as we speak. Take a listen.